A school safety audit of Oak Brook Elementary. For school safety presentation report by Kristen R. Herring for ED LD 5623 Developing Leaders under Dr. Kimberly Wilkerson. To begin, I would like to go over the demographics of Oak Brook Elementary. To date, there are 395 students with 27 faculty, 95% average attendance, with 3% of students English as a second language, 16% are SPED students, and 47% are free or reduced lunch. The recommendation that I would make is ESL teachers and SPED teachers need to review crisis plans with limited English proficient students and SPED students throughout the year to check for comprehension and ensure safety and security. Safety and security of Oak Brook Elementary grounds. Oak Brook is located in the suburbs of Little Rock. It's a safe area without construction, free of highways, parks, public transportation, railroad tracks. There are 17 exit doors, and they were all kept locked upon the audit. Electronic access is given to faculty and staff through the teacher ID badge system. All other access is given after the system checks in the front office have taken place. Maintenance building is locked. Administrator and maintenance department are the only ones with keys on campus. The grounds are all maintained. PCSSD requires background checks of all faculty, staff, bus drivers, and volunteers. There are exit signs at each exit, and they are all lit. Outdoor lighting comes on when the sun sets. The building is maintained, and maintenance corrects things when reports are made electronically. Students at the Bill Harmon Recreation Center are secure when there for PE. The recommendation would be for a fence to be placed around the playground areas to prevent students from leaving and intruders from entering. Controlling access to Oak Brook Elementary. The office staff and faculty are trained and follow visitor admittance policies. There's a camera system in place with questions posted for admittance. Once the office staff sees a visitor and hears their name, relation to student, and purpose of the visit, the visitor is admitted. A concern is that the doors to hallways are open and visitors could enter and go down the hallways without checking into the office. The bookkeeper is trained on accepting mail and deliveries, but the office staff is not. In the bookkeeper's absence, the office staff is not trained correctly for checking the mail and deliveries for safety. Recommendations include shutting the hallway doors during the school day so that when visitors are admitted, they have to come into the front office before going into the building, and training the office staff to safely check mail and deliveries in the absence of the bookkeeper. Interior safety and security of Oak Brook. Maintenance forms are found online, and faculty, staff, administrators, and custodians can complete the forms. Once corrected, the form is signed and a copy is left. An issue is being repaired while I was present for the audit. There is an automated external defibrillator on campus, and the nurse had updated it, and I did check to make sure that the date was current for inspection and maintenance. First aid kits were also updated, and I checked the date for 2021, and there were no safety concerns viewed during the audit. Monitoring and surveillance at Oak Brook. Cameras were all working at doors and in hallways. Video feeds were being monitored by the secretary, principal, and school resource officer throughout the day. ID badges are required to be worn and visible by students. McNulty 2021. Oak Brook's communication and information security. PCSSD media team handles all communication during an emergency. There are panic buttons that work in all classrooms. Walkie-talkies are charged and used by administrators, security, SROs, and the personnel that are on duty. Administrators have district cell phones as a second means of communication with district and police and fire departments. The emergency response plan. Fire and tornado drills have been completed monthly and documentation reports have been submitted. Annual lockdowns and lockout drills were completed in September and documentation reports were submitted. One bus evacuation drill was completed in August and the second is scheduled for later this month. The crisis plan has been provided to all faculty and staff. Training was provided for a half a day in August of 2021. There are several new teachers that have not been trained, but they were given the emergency response plan to review. Evacuation maps are posted in every room. Teachers showed concern that they were not prepared for intruder or active shooter cases or scenarios. A student interviewed was not aware of the danger of opening the door for an adult. The recommendations include the second bus evacuation drill should be completed upon returning from winter break. More detailed training on the crisis plan is needed with emphasis of active shooter and intruder response. Practical experiences for students to learn how to respond when adults try to enter the building are needed, and discussions with students on how to handle being locked out of a room during a lockdown is needed. Social and emotional health of Oak Brook students. Students are encouraged to notify the counselor through email or Schoology if needing to speak to a counselor. If a teacher warrants immediate services are needed, the teacher will email the counselor or they can escort the student to the counseling office. Counselors feel that minimal training has been provided for classroom teachers for bullying, sexual harassment, indicators of violent behavior, and other mental health issues, but the counselors feel well trained. Neither of the counselors interviewed knew about the district's crisis recovery team, but both had had recent training on crisis intervention and dealing with suicide. Tier 1 provides counseling lessons for all students on bullying, reporting diversity, personal safety, medication safety, conflict resolution, and forgiveness, as well as building friendships. Tier 2 provides individualized counseling or small group counseling, and Tier 3 provides a referral for outside counseling services through either Life Strategies or Next Steps counseling services. School climate and school culture. The majority of teachers felt the school is protected and worry little about the school's climate and safety. The faculty agrees that they have been trained in the school safety plan, but more training is needed. The majority of the faculty believes the school has a trusting environment where people care for each other and respect ethnic heritage. The majority of the faculty feel that there is an effort to praise faculty and students who do well and a consequence for violating a rule, and those rules are easily understood by all. The majority feel that the school administrators could enforce rules better, but they also feel that the administrators care about them and the problems that they face. The faculty feels that they are responsible for the safety and security of students, and they feel supported by the administration who provides strong leadership. The faculty sees coordination between public agencies and the school district. The faculty says students at Oak Brook Elementary participate in activities and have a desire to learn, and teachers requested hands-on training in the crisis plan, especially active shooter situations and mental health of students. PCSSD policies. Administrators, front office staff, counselors, and teachers are familiar with the policies that are aligned to Arkansas and federal law. These include policies related to school visitors, contact with students while out at school, search and seizure policies, procedures of sexual harassment complaints. These are well known by the administrators and counselors. Freedom of expression, assembly, and patriotic and religious exercises without disrupting learning are acceptable on campus, and the policy is understood by OBE administrators. Bullying and cyberbullying policy is understood by the administration and faculty, and professional development is completed through Arkansas Ideas periodically. Policies are in place for disciplining students under IDEA and Section 504, and the administrative team complies with the policy.